Hey everybody, it's Mike Capera with the 93rd episode of What You Drinking. We got a good crew again as usual. We got AJ, Brandon, Chris stepping out for a second, and Dan. He's here. He's just grabbing a beer. And Chris' sound is a little soft. I was going to let him know. How's everybody doing? We landed on imports last week, and Dan, you were the one that was the most excited, so I'm going to let you go first and talk about what you got there.
I was, because I'm really on a kick as far as imports go. But rather than look for something new, I looked for something I hadn't had in a while, and I got the old Tadcaster, Taddy Porter by Samuel Smith. This is, I was also looking for a low ABV because I've had a lot of high gravity stuff, and I'm beginning to gain more gravity myself, so I thought, might not be a bad change for an episode or two. So yeah, this thing's a classic. If I remember right, this was actually one of the favorite beers of the Beatles, or at least one of the Beatles. I'm not sure which one, but I seem to remember that being part of its lore. Now it got a nice 2.5 finger head. It's pretty black. It's, you can see brown around the edges, but looking through it and staring at it through the light and not seeing much. It's got a very caramely smell. Not a lot of smokiness to it, at least on the nose. More for the caramel.
I don't think I've had that one before.
Oh, you should have it at least once. I mean, it's not blow you away amazing, and porters don't get a lot of love as it is, but if you like a nice sessionable porter, you could do a lot worse than this. This is it's a classic. So it's probably or at least one of the beers that defines the brown porter style. So cheers to this. This is good stuff.
Nice. That's a good brewery, man. I've had obviously some other stuff from theirs, but that I didn't have. AJ, what you got?
I haven't opened it yet, but I have a Flanders Fred, which is a collaboration from DeProff and Hair of the Dog. It was brewed in March of 2012 and is the 6th edition collaboration that DeProff has done with U.S. breweries.
Nice.
Yes. That should be interesting. Cork and caged.
It's quite tasty. Yeah. This is actually my last bottle of this.
Well, we feel honored to have you open it on the show then. How about you, Brandon? What'd you bring today?
I brought Chimay Doré. This is actually the beer they brew for the monks to just drink every day at a monastery. So I'd never seen it in the States before, so I said, oh, this would be a good one to do on the show because everyone sees the red cap, the white cap, and the blue cap. But this is the gold cap, so I'm going to crack this one open. It's my first time trying it.
I have not seen that before, so that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Ooh, it's got a lot of foam there already. That's why you don't leave the beer in your trunk for a few hours and you go somewhere, folks.
It's true.
Looks good, dude.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's got pouring a little small snifter glass here. Got just for tasting it. It's got a nice color to it, nice head, lively carbonation. Smells great. Says beer brew. It's ale brew with spices. So definitely has a bit of a lemony smell to it that I find. So definitely looking forward to giving this a try. It's 4.8% ABV, so it's lighter on the gravity. And like Dan, I've been putting a little gravity myself, so I need to drink a few lower gravity beers.
I hear that. Right with you, brother.
Cheers.
Nice, man. What'd you bring, Chris?
Of the mic first.
It's a little better. You were really soft before.
That's because I got up and walked away. You couldn't hear me.
There we go.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know if I've got the right beer on their website. I was looking at their website, but I am drinking an organic beer from the Isle of Scotland. This is the Black Isle Organic Oatmeal Stout, and I've heard good things about this brewery and specifically, but I've never had them. So this is a break your hymen beer for me as well.
I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, one of the guys, the place where the grocery store bar thing I go out to usually on Thursday nights, the guy was talking about it. He says it's a really, there's a There's a better view of the actual label there, and it's called Black Isle Brewing Company. They're out of obviously specifically I guess Black Isle, Scotland. So I mean we're talking in the probably not in the shadows of the Loch Ness monster, but 7% alcohol. All their beers are organic, isn't just this one, and this is their oatmeal stout. Now on their website, the only oatmeal stout they have is called Hibernator, and they say it's medium dry black beer with hints of espresso, licorice, and hedgerow fruit.
What?
I've never heard of that.
Hedgerow fruit.
That's hedgerow, yeah. I don't know. There must be some sort of shrub that they grow fruit on that they use for hedges, I guguess.
Shrubbery.
Very black beer. It poured a little. It was translucent. You know, the mouthfeel on it looks like it's going to be pretty light. It's not typical an American stout, for instance, but heads khaki. My buddy hates a word hates it when I use clothing colors as. I tell him F off, whatever.
I think it's a fair description.
Yeah, I do too.
No, I think the only time you have to worry about that is if you start calling things teal, then you're in bad shape with beer.
Or blue jean, because if the beer's blue, you're. So, I mean, obviously, European beers, UK beers are different than American style beers in terms of what's enjoyed over there. But this is a stout. It is exactly what I thought, though. It's a lighter mouthfeel, kind of between a black IPA like mouthfeel and just starting to get into the lighter porters. Maybe a light porter. But it's got a good roasted malt finish. I mean, it's got that bitter coffee taste on my tongue and my teeth right now. So I would say this is definitely a stout. It's not creamy like you would expect kind of with oatmeal, though. That's strange. Huh. And it's got a good carbonation as well. So, but it's all organic, no chemicals involved. So I will be healthy and cancer-free after this glass of beer.
That's my question. What actually designates an all organic beer? Like, how is that? I mean, what you just said is a joke, obviously, but like,
right?
What's in any other craft beer that's not organic? I don't know
their site. So I guess to answer your question with the opposite, and just out of deduction, you can I guess kind of figure this out. They say we have our own organic. Oh wait, hold on, let's back up. Making world-class beers from the finest organic malt and hops grown on farms without chemicals as nature intended. We have our own organic farm where we grow malting barley for brewing. We even have our own brewery house cow called Molly, who eats the malt from the brewery mash tun and gives us 20 pints of fresh creamery milk every day.
Nice.
So, I mean, they're self-sustaining, I guess, a little bit. Kind of a...
Yeah, it sounds like your standard no pesticides, no fertilizers, unless it's organic fertilizers like
it's like
crap.
Organic chicken or something.
I think the government actually has a formula that they use to declare something organic or not. Like you have to fall into a certain range of that no pesticide, no chemical type of event to be classified as organic. So I think you have to go through actually government testing to be classified as organic.
Oh, I've got a scenario that would make an organic person's head explode, and that is this: can you have a genetically engineered grain also be organic?
No.
Because you're not. Well, I mean, there's no chemistry going into it. You're just kind of fiddling around with the genome. Yeah. Well, you're doing that though with your when you're cross-pollinating crops too. It's just that you're doing it a little more. I don't know, dedicatedly on the science level.
I don't think
it
classifies as organic.
GMO would not classify as organic.
It would not? All right.
Not that I think.
I don't
I definitely agree with you, you guys, Dan, and in that it's organic. Or it's not organic, but I think it would be arguable pretty much anywhere you drop that out on the web, and you're going to have people coming in from left field to argue that. I mean, it's just like the soybeans and stuff like that, and corn and.
Yeah, I mean, genetic modification happens in ways other than in a petri dish. It's just that
Right.
a different way. So that's, I think, where the argument comes down to is that are you going to quote unquote let nature do its way by messing around with the natural order? How does that work? Or are you going to do it in a petri dish? So.
Gotcha. My beer that I brought is also from the same country as Chris's. I've got a beer from Scotland. I have not had a beer from this brewery probably since I started getting into craft beer. So I went with little brew dog action.
I knew you were going there. Nice.
Hello, how are you?
Right.
So I got the Punk IPA, and it's pretty good, man. I was surprised. I thought this was going to come up as more of an overrated beer of theirs, but this is their standard IPA too. This is the 5.6%. Oh, this is actually, it says pale ale. First of all, it's called the Punk IPA, but they call it a pale ale. So that I don't understand.
You've been punked.
It says postmodern classic pale ale, but they call it the Punk IPA. Anyways, I got that, and I also got
What do you think the PA stands for in IPA?
I get that, but the pale ale is supposed to be different than the pale ale, from my understanding.
They're both pale.
I mean, they have the hardcore IPA, which I also bought too, but that one's like 9.2 or something crazy like that.
I almost did a hardcore tonight.
I have it in the fridge. I still might.
I have like one in the basement.
It's pretty good though. Like I was walking around and I was like, I fucking love that show. First of all, and who sent in a message? Skylar's been. Skylar was trying to jump on from the brewery. It looked like he was having some issues.
Yeah, I saw his head pop up, but then he disappeared.
Yeah, I tried him a couple times. He said Wi-Fi at the brewery has been shitty in the past couple days, and he's gonna be stuck there another late night for him there. So appreciate him trying to jump on. So sorry you can't make it, Skylar. But yeah, I mean I'm loving that show. First of all, still the newest episode was pretty good. They were in Kentucky. And
I haven't seen anything from season 3 yet.
Oh, it's good, man.
I've watched 1 and 3. I didn't watch 2 yet. I don't believe the Brooklyn one and the Scotland one is the only one I've watched.
Okay, they just did Kentucky too.
Yeah, I think that's all. That's the only one you missed. I think then.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they have the one.
Right?
What's that?
I haven't done one.
The Founders?
No.
No,
It wasn't aired yet.
Oh, they were there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
they were there.
They did Michigan, is what they did. I don't know who they brewed with, but I know they were in Detroit. Because I
thought it was Founders.
It might have been, but I know they went to Hopcat and they did some stuff over in Detroit for some reason. But that's all I know. Maybe it was maybe they did brew with Founders, but I'm not sure.
I think they did brew with Founders. If they did anything with Detroit, they might have just been doing Michigan bars on their list that they always do, because it's weird. They don't always go to the places that they have on those lists. Because I was in San Diego when the first season came out, and we went to AleSmith, and I was like, "Oh, you guys, how'd you guys like hanging out with the Brewdog guys? Because they came in, they put you on as the #1 brewery in the area in their list." They're like, I don't think they came here. They just we heard about that, but they weren't here. I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know what they do to put those lists together, but I did hear they were at Founders, because I saw, I think it was either James, it was one of the two guys on the Instagram. They each have their own separate handle, and I did see them at Founders, and they did take a picture at Hopcat. So I don't know what the episode is going to be, but It should be this season, I assume.
They're gonna make it with
Sometime in the winter.
Detroit motor oil is probably what they're gonna do.
Well, this last episode was awesome. They worked with Against the Grain. They even drank that barley wine that I was drinking last week.
Nice.
And what they do with these like barrels from who was it, Dan?
Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, Buffalo Trace. They built this Ferris wheel of barrels and transferred the beer from one to the next as it turned. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's like a beer centrifuge sort of, but made out of wood and chains and yeah.
It's definitely gimmicky at times.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's a TV show. What are you gonna do? But
Yeah.
it's the best craft beer show that's ever been put out yet. So I'm happy
I agree.
with it.
Yeah, no, and I would say that this was the best episode that they've done so far, but at the same time, it was the worst premise. It was this weird convergence of, they obviously got the premise of this because what they did was they matched up with the guys who were doing another show on the same channel. What is it on Esquire? It's the best beer bars.
Oh, those
Yeah.
guys, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand how those guys got that job because I think I could do maybe better.
Oh, yeah.
I think all of us could do better.
I have not
But they
watched that
decided-
show yet. Is it any good at all, or is it just the guys that you don't care for?
Yeah.
At times it makes my liver hurt because I'm like, God, how are they getting? You don't know the time frame that they did this show, but you're like, oh my God, they're drinking so much. But then you're like me, I'm not a big spirits guy, but at some times I'm like, God, I could totally hang out in that bar and just sip whiskey now. That doesn't seem cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I have to say when they're pulling out the bourbons that are going back like 23 years, because they did that on the show, they had like some of that going on during the show for the beer or the bar guys, and then they did the same. I want some of that and want some of that. Not a whole lot, just a little bit.
Well, even
Right.
just the opening scene where they're at that bar with those guys, you're like, Jesus Christ, they're drinking so much, like so much. They're like doing shots, and then when they were at Buffalo Trace, they were drinking a lot too. So it was like,
The Scottish one I thought was impressive when they were pulling out the three
Yeah.
whiskey barrels.
That
The one they were like, yeah, there's only one of these we've ever found in Scotland, and I don't know how much it is, but the one you just drank is $20,000 a bottle. And
I
Yeah.
know.
He just
And then
needs
he
more.
dumps some of it out, and you see the look on that guy's face, like it fucking hurt him so bad. I was like, oh my God, probably like $500 like that he just spilt out right
Right.
That's ridiculous. But yeah, that was like, well, it was like from. Wait, what's that?
They have enough money to do that.
Well, maybe, but I mean, still.
But that doesn't
from
exist
1968,
anymore.
man.
That's the only
Exactly.
bottle left.
Yeah, that's like they're not. You're never finding any more of that, man. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
The money can't buy that.
What I didn't realize was how many BrewDog bars there are in Scotland. There are like fucking 5 of them all over the place. They're all different. There's not like it's not like a cookie cutter. You know, they're doing the same thing all over the place. So
Right.
every location was different. It was cool. I like that. I think last year I saw that there was like some kind of fake BrewDog bar in like Japan or something like that.
It was Japan, yeah.
They completely stole their logo, the name, everything, and just put a bar called BrewDog in there.
Whoa, that's bad.
That's pretty bad.
Well, the actual BrewDogs guys posted it on their website and
I
like
saw
totally ripped them apart. For
Yeah,
it.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Hey, speaking of ripping apart, I think I saw Chris post this earlier, but what's everybody thinking about the Bell's Peach Pumpkin Ale
Don't get me
and
started.
sort of the dig counter dig sort of now, and this kind of relates or it goes back to last episode because last episode we kind of hit the one side of the coin where it's like, you know, curse you, AB and Bev, curse you, and now it's kind of going the other way, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's like, guys, just let it go.
What exactly are you talking about? Because I must not have read what you're talking about.
They did a 5-gallon batch, so they're
Balanced it?
probably 5-gallon batch of a pumpkin peach ale, or peach ale, whatever it was at the end of that Budweiser commercial.
It was a pumpkin
Yeah.
peach ale.
Yeah,
Is it pumpkin peach ale? Okay.
yeah.
And they did 5 gallons. It's they were selling them at their at the Bell's General Store, $20 for 12-ounce bottle.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, No, that's just BS. Sorry.
That's
no.
what I said. I said, you know what they did is they took the end. They took the end of the bottom of a barrel of Oberon, threw some peach extract in it, put them in a bunch of black note. Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
We hear you.
Well, I got a phone call at the same time, and I hit hang up, but I must have answered. Sorry. Anyways, I said they put peach extract in. They in the Oberon, leftover Oberon, put them in black note bottles, and then marked up the price to $20. Said, yeah, fuck them. That's what I figured they did. Somebody did they did a 5-gallon batch or something, and because it's 48 bottles is all they have, and I'm like, why?
That's ridiculous. First of all,
Larry's brewing in his garage, I guess. I don't know.
First of all, it's 3 months past the Super Bowl. How many breweries have already done that beer, like almost like a week after that commercial came out? Like Zach from Chain Reaction Brewing, they did one. I saw that. They posted one that they did. It's like, why?
Yeah, but this goes back to the tiered breweries. There was only one tier 2 to do it, and it was Bell's.
$20 for a bottle. Fuck off.
Yeah,
whether it's 5 gallons or not, and you know what? Because they're Bell's, they could charge $20 for it, and people are gonna buy it, just like they buy Oberon by the truckload.
Oh god, that's like Surly. Surly just came out today with Pentagram, or just hit the market here. $25 a bottle. Now, granted, it's a bomber, and I know people probably think it's worth it, but I've just had enough of bomber bottles that are going to the $20 plus range. Mm-hmm. I mean, the ingredients and the amount of real estate that's taken up by a brewery do not justify the cost. It is purely markup for expectations and either artificial scarcity in the market, or just kind of people playing purely on marketing. Sort of like, well, it's craft beer. This is amazing stuff. You can't get it anywhere else. So you only made so much here. You got to pay $25. No, I don't think so.
No, like anything else, I always say for a brewery that wants you to pay $25 a bottle or $20 a bottle for something, you pretty much had to have earned my trust with your flagship beers. I mean, even want to spend $20 on one of your bottles of beer.
Yeah.
That's what it takes, and you have to do this extremely well with your flagship beers, or else if I just see random bottle from a brewery on the shelf I don't know about, or I've only heard about, and said, oh, $15, $20, no thanks.
Well,
heck,
I mean, Surly's not a flash in the pan brewery though. They're pretty. They've got solid flagships.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
well,
people when Bourbon County Rare first came out, $45 a bottle is what they were charging. People bought it like crazy. I mean, people bitched, but they stood in line and they bought it. It's
I paid $300 for it, so what?
No, I mean, I get it, but this is kind of my point. There was a time, and this goes back to Bourbon County Rare, where that was the exception. Mm-hmm. It's becoming the rule, and that's where it becomes problematic, because it's kind of like college tuitions. There's this artificial inflation that's beginning to hit the market, and at the same time that actually these releases aren't becoming less scarce, or more scarce rather, they're becoming more common. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're literally out every freaking week.
Let me ask you this. What are you comfortable paying for a 6-pack of bottles, like 12-ounce bottles?
Yeah, I'd say like $11.
Okay. That's amazing, because back 10 years ago when I first got into craft beer, you could buy a 6-pack for like $7 or $8, and you're almost twice that price. It's
some of that maybe like in the rising cost of what hops has gotten iffy and stuff like that. So maybe some of that has gone up with inflation, with rarity of hop strains. But on top of that, I mean, how many hop strains were there back then? And now there's all these wacky, you got the kiwi strains from New Zealand and shit like that, so which are probably more expensive. So
no, I mean, there is some of that, but actually, there's scarcity there too in a weird way, because if you look at the hop markets out in Washington, the vast majority of the hops that they're growing are for macros. I mean, the crop yield that you're getting out of the Yakima Valley are primarily going to the big three, at least here.
Listen, you dropping Washington State Valley terminology, Akima Valley. I used to live there, and I don't even know where the fuck that's at.
As I commented on one of your posts earlier, I know too much.
Props.
But no, I mean it's serious. It's true that there's a lot of proprietary hop growth that's going on now, but I mean the yields are still tiny, and even though we see a lot of this going into the craft beer, if you talk about, bless you, oh poopy, if you're talking about the total that what the heck, man?
I'll be right back, guys.
That's all right. No, never mind. I mean, all I'm saying is that there are a lot of hops there, but not a lot of them are these kind of weird strains that we're seeing more and more on the homebrew market and in the bottles of craft beer that we get. So.
But also think about the fact that there's so many more breweries than there ever was before. So the demand for the contracts with these hop farms to supply them, like if you're just now starting, you're gonna have a lot of trouble, having those relationships that these established breweries like Bell's and all of them already have. I don't justify that they should be, selling a beer for $20, a 12-ounce bottle for $20. That's definitely obvious markup. But when it comes to the cost of bombers and the cost of, I think bombers kind of really started getting big around the time. I'm not saying that Pipeworks was responsible for it, but around the time that they were kicking out, they kind of started the bomber game. That's all that they were doing before they were looking into cans and stuff like that. So, it's what the market demands. That's the price. We were okay with the markup when they, a six-pack jumped from, like I said, $7-8 to $10 to $12.
Well, and here's the thing too, is that I was actually talking to the former beer rep actually over at the Buffalo Grove Benny's, Ken Habenecht, and he was talking about how they got to a certain ceiling point. I think it was $10.99 or it was $9.99, where if you were packaging basically flagship beers in six packs, once you went beyond a certain price, people were saying they weren't moving them, and they eventually just stopped carrying the line or that particular beer because people just weren't buying it. And I think that you're beginning to see that now with bombers too. Because I have noticed on this last few times that I've gone over to the special release that you get as as an email notification from a Benny's, the bottles are sticking around longer, and they're going to probably keep on sticking around longer and longer because I think people, by virtue of the fact that they only have so much money to spend, are going to have to get more picky. I mean, it's just gotten so flooded that at a certain point, people have got to say, okay, I can't drop $20 every week on one bottle of beer. So I got to start figuring out what I really want to buy here. Well,
also, I mean, that's true. That's the thing, that the choices now are pretty overwhelming. You've got, I've gone into Benny's and I've picked up a bottle, I've put something back down, I've grabbed something else, I put that down. I can't make a choice. Like it's a little overwhelming at times, and sometimes you just have to. I'll just put it all away, and I'll grab the old reliable, and I'll get an anti-hero, or I'll get some daisy cutter or whatever. But it's like, and first of all, that's why I kind of like how we switch up the styles and stuff, because it kind of forces me to go with something maybe I normally wouldn't have. But right. When you think about all the markup that we're talking about and all that stuff, breweries never had to compete as much as they do now, and they've never had to invest in their business the way they used to. Like you could be a home brewer and open up a craft brewery without any formal training, and it still happens. But there's a lot of breweries now that are investing in marketing, which never was the case before. There was always, I'm just a craft brewery, and our craft fans would just flock to that, and they don't have to, differentiate themselves from most of the others. At least that was the case here in Chicago, because up until maybe 5 years ago, there wasn't anyone here besides Goose Island, and then Metropolitan opened up, and then you see Pipeworks, and then you see a Half Acre. Like Metropolitan and Half Acre pretty much opened up the floodgates here in Chicago, and it's been very much more competitive, where you not only have to have marketing, but you have to have scientists, and you have to have proprietary yeasts yeast strains that nobody else have, and you have to have scientists to culture those, and it's a lot more in depth, and it's a lot more investment when you're trying to grow at a pace that you're comfortable with, and you got to figure out what your audience really is, and if they're going to carry you for the growth that you're looking for. There's a lot more to think about now, and there's a lot more money that they have to put into their own business. So that's why I think we're seeing the jump in a lot of the prices for the bombers and the 6-packs these days. But I mean, I think, like I said, that Bell's one-off is kind of a ridiculous thing. But for the most part, you got to kind of go along with what the prices are now, and you got to accept, if there's a special release, sometimes those prices are valid, and whether you want to believe it or not. To what Brandon said, I agree. You better have some good flagships, and you've got to have a good standing with your fans if you're going to expect them to pay a little bit of a bump in price for like a one-off beer. So.
Right. No, and some of them you definitely see it and you get it. It's sort of like if it's a barrel aged, especially with barrel prices inflating over the years, that costs more. I get it. But when you start getting into other releases that are special simply because they're special, it's harder for me to take. That's kind of, and there's a lot of those coming out, it seems, recently. So that's my problem. I mean, this is a perfect example. The only reason why this Bell's beer cost $20 is because they brewed a carboy of it. It sounds like. So.
Well, I mean, they could have just sold that at their eccentric cafe, and not charged a shit ton, but they could have brought in a lot of people that would spend their money on their flagships and the other beers that they normally have. They could have done it another way, and it wouldn't have looked as greedy. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Instead, they just look ridiculous in my eyes. Well, it's a pumpkin peach ale. You're charging $20 for a 12-ounce bottle. I'm sorry, unless you just happen to just found this. Pumpkin's not in season right now.
Yeah.
So you can't use that excuse that you had to import pumpkins from somewhere where they were growing pumpkins. It's like you're using puree.
Yeah.
You're using puree. You're probably using peach puree. You're probably using pumpkin puree. You cannot justify $20. You just can't.
Look at you, Dick, Chris. We're still talking about this shit.
No, it's okay. I had to take that phone call.
Can I comment?
Yes.
Please.
Go for
it. I kind of disagree with you guys. I don't think it's the brewery's fault that they're charging $20 for a bomber or $20 for a 12-ounce.
Not completely. Yeah.
I think we, as the craft beer consumer, are stupid. Because we allowed it to get this way.
Yep, that's why I'm stopping.
We decided as a craft beer community that we were going to chase white whales or whales, and we were willing to pay $15, $20, $25, $45. In the case of like a Utopia's, $200 dollars for these rare beers. And if I'm the owner of a brewery, or I'm in charge of marketing, or I'm in charge of pricing, and I make a beer that costs me $60 to make, let's say a 10-gallon batch or whatever, and I know that there's going to be a line out my door to spend $20 for a 12-ounce bottle, I'm going to charge $20 for a 12-ounce bottle. I'm not going to throw money down the toilet just because I want to charge $10 a bottle. If I'm going to sell out in 10 minutes charging $20 a bottle, why am I not going to do that?
Yep.
So I don't blame the brewery. I blame and I don't want to say the uneducated craft beer consumer, but
That's true, though. It is that.
it's almost like I think a better term is the blind craft beer consumer, because they don't even look at price tags. They just say, this is super rare. I'm going to get a bottle so I can brag on Untappd or Google Plus or Beer Advocate or Rate Beer that I have this beer and there's only 150 made and I have a bottle, but I spent $100 for a 12-ounce bottle, but I have it. That's the problem.
I agree.
If there's a boycott, or there's a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a campaign from the craft beer community to say, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, show us how much it costs you to brew, and we understand there's a markup, but show us how much it costs you to brew, and we'll decide what a relatively acceptable payment is.
Okay, let me ask you something.
You know, we're not going to pay $20 for a peach pumpkin ale anymore.
How much do you think you could spend if I said spend as much as you want to make a pumpkin peach ale, but only 5 gallons of it?
How much?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean okay?
5 gallon.
Are you talking about like? I mean, you can spend infinite. You could like put gold flakes in there. So are you talking about?
It's just a pumpkin peach ale. I would say okay. So a typical batch of beer the home brewer is going to make is, let's just say $50. I go over that and double it, and I spend $100 on a 5 gallon batch.
That's hard to do, man.
Pumpkin peach ale. I'm not saying gold flake like titty milk or anything like that. I'm saying pumpkin peach ale. Okay.
That's just free. What are you talking about?
Unless it comes from like I don't know, J-Lo or something. But anyways,
I have to brew a beer called J-Lo's Titty Milk. That
is. So what I'm saying is that let's just to look at extremes here. Let's say it costs $100 to brew this fine ass pumpkin peach ale, right?
Yeah.
5 gallon batch. You sell each batch for $20. That's I think $800 or $960. That is a 90% markup.
Correct.
Basically, that's to me is not. If he was if it was a big batch of beer, then maybe that would be more. You know, like if he was doing a full batch, then that'd be one thing. This was a 5 gallon batch. This was your home brew that you just brewed out of your garage, and you're selling it to your buddies for a 12-ounce bottle for $20.
Okay, I resent that because I'm
have
from my
48
basement.
buddies that are spending $20 a bottle.
What's that?
You have 48 buddies that are spending $20 a bottle.
That's freaking. I first off, I don't have 48 buddies. Second of all, I don't think even if I had you guys, if I invited you all over my house and said I got this fucking phenomenal beer, you can't have any of it unless you give me $20. So you'd be like, fuck you, give me something else then.
I would totally give you $20.
Well,
I wouldn't.
if you have like
AJ, I respect you, but you're dumb.
Wait, what?
I'm not going to say that I wasn't including myself as part of the blind, because I don't look at price tags anymore. I'm just like, all right, I haven't had this beer, and I just check it off on a website, or I haven't had this, I got to try it. Not even looking at the price tag. Get to the register, it's like $15.99, $16.99, $20.99, whatever.
Well, yeah, again, you're talking about largely produced beers. We're talking about a 5 gallon batch here, dude. 5 gallons is all it makes. It may taste like Venus or what everybody thinks Uranus is going to taste like.
I don't want to know.
You have no clue what this is going to taste like, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'll pay $20 to taste Uranus."
Right.
Thank you, Chris.
The point is, probably sold that out in 5 minutes.
And you're probably right, but I just don't. And here's the thing: it wasn't like they said Larry pulled out this ancient recipe from his early days and brewed this awesome beer. He brewed it in spite of a fucking macro beer commercial. So that's his basis. Now, not to say that it's not great; it may be, but it's still, to me, it's just like it wasn't even there wasn't any heart in that to me. It was just like, F you, Budweiser. I know you tried to buy me before, and like I said in my post, and I know my daughter's going to sell out to you in like 5 years, but fuck you. Here's this pumpkin peach ale at your ass, 5 gallons worth. Yeah, I put a half-ass effort into it.
That makes it even more
rare because it's
pliable. Like to the craft. Now you're catering to multiple blind craft beer community. You're catering to the people that want to say fuck Budweiser. Yeah, you're catering to the people that are like their heads are up Larry Bell's ass and they'll buy anything that he makes and spend how much money they need to spend. You have the people that are whale hunters that just want, like I said, to post on Untapped and all these other places that hey, I have this, you don't. You know, so there's so many different factions of people that you can sell to with this 48 bottle release of pumpkin peach ale. Laughing, going, these schmucks are fucking buying a 12-ounce bottle of a home brew I did in my garage for $20, and he's just laughing at people because they're doing it. You know, if we want to stop this shit, we need people to wake up and realize, hey, I'm gonna go buy the $4.99 bottle of Bomber of Hop Stupid because it's a fucking awesome beer and I'm paying $5 for 22 ounces of it instead of spending the $20 on a 12-ounce bottle of pumpkin peach ale.
Is it out yet?
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. There was a couple of Michigan. They had an article. I don't know if there was. I skimmed through it, but mostly because of the Bells. But there was Bells was doing something, and it was released this week, I believe. The other one was Griffin Claw was doing something too, but they were doing bombers, wax tops. I mean, they were giving you a $20 appearance at least of a bottle. Bells is probably they probably, if you look closely and you peel the label back, it's probably got Oberon labels underneath. I mean, it's like fuck.
I see.
He probably went to the local homebrew shop, spent $10.99
which is the general store.
I was gonna say hit store.
So he spent $10.99 on a case of 12-ounce bottles. He bought 2 of them.
Oh my God.
So he spent $22 on bottles. He probably spent $60 on the brew itself.
Right.
And he made an astronomical amount of money on 48 bottles of beer.
Yeah.
Well, there's no check-ins on Untapped. It's listed there, but it's
no check-ins yet. Really?
Not even one. Not one.
Wow.
That's shocking.
You know what? I may swing in there tomorrow and see if they've got it still.
I doubt it.
Are you gonna buy it?
No.
If they still have it, post a picture of it. That's what I request. Post a picture of it on Google Plus. I want to see it.
I love going in there because I think they all look at me. One of the guys that AJ and I introduced AJ to briefly that used to work there. He doesn't work there anymore. He spread my name around there a little bit, and so if I wear anything Mr. Liquid Bread in there, they're like they give me this kind of. They may not. Maybe it's just me being, like paranoid, but I think they're like, oh, dickheads, fucking. Yeah.
I want you to go on Instagram or whatever you can and just like do one of those pictures where you grab the bottle off the shelf like you're gonna buy it, go up to them and just like flick them off at the counter, and then walk out and not buy it.
I would have to go in there with a beer or two in my gut at that point. I gotta have some liquid courage, I think. I couldn't be that. I can't be that like hardcore. I'll go in there and take a picture, but I don't know if I can. That's a good stage though to walk up and be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. Fuck you.
By the way, I've got the perfect beer for this discussion right now.
That is a good one.
Overrated.
That's just a good beer, though.
Overrated.
I think they were. I just actually took down a 4-pack of that last 2 days ago.
2 things real quick, Mike. Great hat, by the way. Second of all, I was looking around on Black Isle Brewing Company's site, and they about why are we organic, and part of the section says organic means no genetically modified plants. So there's your answer, man.
Yeah, okay, man. Well, I'm going after them because every plant is genetically modified. Just depends on if it's in nature or if it's in the lab.
Yeah, right. They said no genetically modified plants, no hydrogenated fats, no nasty aspartame. Why would you have aspartame in beer? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh man, good.
Yeah. Let me get closer here. I can't read this shit 'cause I'm old. Tartrazines, tartrazines or MSGs, no artificial chemical fertilizers, or pesticides destroying the ecosystem and causing pollution and greenhouse gases. Plants, insects, and bird life are up to 50% greater in organic farms. Greater at what? Animals live free range, have an open spaces and fresh air, and are not cloned and fed growth hormones. And we have lost 90% of the wild bee population and 50% of the farmed hives. No pollination equals no fruit.
Yep.
So
It sounds like there was a little bit of a mental throw up at the end on whoever's writing the copy on that, but yeah, that's pretty much right.
Yeah, that's I'd love to hear. That sounds like a bunch of hippies. I'd love to hear what a Scottish hippie sounds like when he talks.
Yeah.
Hey, I know we're almost towards the end of the show, but how's everybody's beers going? AJ, but are you already on another one, or are you still working on that one?
So on the very end of my Flanders here.
What was that?
It was excellent. It's super smooth. The first sip was really, really tart. It gave me the chills. It was so tart. But it's mellowed out as it warmed up a little bit. It definitely did. The age did very well for it.
Nice. What are you working on now, Brandon?
I am having having Trooper, the Iron Maiden beer.
Nice, another import.
Yes, another import. Yes, of course, I'm not going to play any Iron Maidens. I don't want to hit you with a copyright. Well, I don't want the copyright trolls to come on this video and shut us down. So
I think YouTube will actually kick us off if you have any copyrighted material played. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I love some Iron Maiden, man, that's some good metal right there.
I agree, and it's such a good beer. It's so easy to drink. I mean, definitely. Again, on that same light beer bandwagon. There you go.
Bandwagon.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive. It makes more sense.
What do you got, Dan? Still.
Oh, I got I did the
overrated. That's right. I already know that one's good. Are you guys able? AJ, are you able to get Surly out by you?
Negative.
No. Okay. I didn't know.
I have no Surly. I mean, I've had Surly before.
Yeah.
But
which one's good?
Hey, Dan, what's that new one that they've got in 4-packs now? It's not the single bomber that you were talking about, but it does have a pentagram on it. But they're super.
No, that's a collaboration beer, and it's with a band, and I totally forget the name of it. It's like I want to say it's an ESB.
Okay. I was curious about that one, so I wasn't sure if anyone had
For
it.
Surly. Hold on. Yeah, I'll look it up.
It's probably one of their bands they have up there at Darkness Day or whatever.
No, this is one that they've got out in cans all over right now. I'm going to put in.
No, but I mean, it's probably one of the bands that play at Darkness.
Oh yeah. No, probably that makes sense.
By the way, while you're looking that up.
Oh, fuck you! I want that beer so much.
What?
I love that. That's my favorite short beer.
And they made it. They made last year's. I said, last year's I didn't like. This year I just smelled this one. I'm like, oh my god! I literally it's back to liquid pot. Yeah,
is it pretty easy to get still right now in Michigan?
It was. I just went and picked up. There was there was only one on the shelf, and there was There was probably 3 or 4 in the cooler still. So
I gotta cross the border. I gotta cross the border soon.
Cross the border for some Taco Bell and do some Freedom 78, baby.
Dude, I literally make like trips to Michigan.
Oh my god!
Shorts.
This smells. I mean, literally, this smells like. This smells like. Yeah, no, it's 420 and the drug test the next day that you had to get because somebody.
By the way, the Surly beer is Doomtree. I finally found that again. So.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doomtree.
What are people saying about
it? It's getting an 85 on Beer Advocate right now. So, but it's Beer Advocate, so you're probably getting some people are going, oh, this is pretty good. And some that are going, oh, this is the best beer ever. And some that are going, oh, they brewed this with dish towel water.
Imagine that. The internet.
Yeah.
Fucking hate the internet right now.
Sorry, beer advocate. So.
Now,
Yeah,
I do have to admit this beer does not taste dank, but it smells dank, and I think it's got a little bit of that. Obviously, the guava, right? Now, what's in this?
Yeah, the guava.
That's it.
Yeah, and it definitely tastes a little bit of that coming through this year. Either that or it's that stout left over on my palate. So.
Now you should we should get you a bottle of Guava Natrix when it comes back up from Pipeworks. Pipeworks puts out a Guava IPA, and Mike and I both tried it a while ago, and it's top notch. I don't know if it's as good as what you got there, and it's definitely not as dank.
I think it was just out last month.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that it was back out again, but yeah, they go fast though. So I didn't see it today.
No. So what do we want to add to the wheel, guys? We need to let's think about what styles are coming out not too long from now. Okay.
Saison, is that on the wheel?
What's up, Kevin?
Hey, how you doing?
Come just in time for us to figure out what we're going to add to the wheel.
I figured I'd at least see that. I'm going to pour my imported.
Canadian!
What'd you get?
What's that?
What'd you get?
It's imported all the way from Quebec.
Ooh.
It's
Take off. Fin de Bon.
Yep.
Is that this year's, or did you have one of those older ones that you aged a year?
No, this is when I got more recently. This was the comparison against the old one.
Nice. I almost got that one today too.
Yeah. I had to go with whatever I had in the house that was not American.
I went with fancy TV star beer now.
Ooh.
So, what I meant.
Every time you put a beer down, it sounds like a gong. Exactly.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't really watch the shows too much after we've recorded, but I always have to go back to the very end to see what the next week's style is. And last week's episode, I did hear that. So because I got the mic hanging here now, and it doesn't have like a shock absorber.
I love it. It's like the old spring reverbs that they used to have when they recorded albums. It's awesome.
All right, so what's coming out soon that we might want to?
Saisons, I said.
Yeah, Saisons are a good one. I'd go with that.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Now we already have My Box on there, don't we? And that one was a pain in the ass to actually find because our homebrew club has got that for the style of the month this month. So I was sent out to get the commercial, one or two commercial examples. And I found one. I was like, where the hell are all the My Box? So,
well, I'll tell you the other commercial. That's
wait, what?
Yeah. People don't usually do them. The only commercial example I can think of in the U.S. is Abita does a seasonal My Bock called Mardi Gras Bock. But it's out of season now.
No, I mean I was going with the Foreigners. As a matter of fact, the only way I could get it was to I got it in the fridge. I'm not going to get it out. But it's like the Hofbrau. I forget what is that a Hofbrau House? No, that's the brewery. Hold on.
Well, Hofbrau is a German brewery.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. It's the Hofbrau Munich. That's the brewery. And yeah, that was the only one that I found.
I can't remember if we've ever done that style, but I remember. I mean, that would have to be kind of a harder one to find, especially in an American version of it for some reason.
No, it's out of season now, so there are some breweries that do make seasonal products.
And add malt liquor.
It's still there. It's still there.
That's lurking. Malt liquor is lurking in the shadows.
Oh, it's still on here.
Yes.
Now that you guys said it, you're gonna jinx it. We're gonna.
I know, son of a bitch.
I just did it. I did it on purpose.
All right, so we still have a couple minutes, but I figure maybe we'll.
If we let me say this: if you guys get malt liquor, everybody has to show up with it in a paper bag.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys remember Dogfish Head used to do that?
40.
Dogfish Head used to have.
Yeah, that's right.
that they would actually sell at the stores, and they would throw in a paper bag to go with.
They
Right, so
if you get malt liquor too, I will show up to that show, sort of, but I'll have Sean Kemp on the screen the entire time doing the show. I'll do the voice off camera, and so it looks like Sean the whole time.
What has Sean got in his head right now?
That is a foil wrapper from an Arcadia, this year's Arcadia Shipwreck Porter.
Okay.
It's like a little mini lampshade.
Yeah, it's like it's just a foil. Put it on there. Keeps his head warm. He said he was getting his ears were getting a little cold. Needed a little beanie.
Stay toasty, little Sean.
So, anything else you want to add besides Saison? We got room. I don't know what styles are coming out. Kevin, you're kind of late to the game. You want to throw something on there as well?
Oh, you're muted. Oh, now
How about a Belgian style triple?
there you go.
Triples, yeah, the triples.
Interesting.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and spin it. We got a couple minutes still, but we'll get the wheel out of the way and then. All right, there we go. All right, it's spinning. I can't see shit, so tell me what it's going to be.
Death Label!
Death Label. Well, Brandon's
What's
already
that?
got a Death Label going right now.
What's
What the
that?
hell is Death Label?
This was something Skylar threw on.
Wow.
It's been on the wheel for a long time.
So this means it's got to have something like death going on?
Yeah, skeletons.
Any label with a death theme to it, or with or a beer name with a death theme to it. So it
That
could be
wasn't Brandon's actually. That was Mike's, your guy from Boston.
Oh, I thought,
yeah.
I thought that was Skylar.
I'm pretty sure.
You might be right. That's cool. I'll let him know. He's in I think New York City or something right now. That's why he couldn't make it to the show. But I'll let him know that he won. That's cool. Yeah, I'm in on that. That's there's plenty. I've actually there's that one here in Chicago. There's an arcade brewing called it's like a coffee IPA. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like Gravedigger, or it's got some kind of a zombie walking around on it or something.
Would Dark Lord? I don't have any Dark Lord, but would that?
I think that would qualify for
That
sure.
yeah, it's in the realm. I'd have to
I
look
mean,
at
the
the label
label,
again.
the label doesn't really represent death, but the name does, I would say.
Okay.
Well, the label usually has some dude with a big axe on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, if that label doesn't represent death, you got a pretty high bar for this.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, good point.
Also,
I mean, that, if you see that guy, you're pretty sure you're gonna die, right? So
Right.
good point.
He's not giving you
But
a fucking
I always thought
candy
of him as
gram.
more of like a what's that?
No, he's not giving you a candy gram, man.
That's true. Yeah.
And shark.
Well, if anyone's opening up Dark Lord next week, I tip my hat to you. I mean, speaking of Dark Lord, that is actually this weekend. I don't know anyone that's going on the show. Kevin, you and I have a couple friends that we know of.
You guys aren't going.
Same here.
No, I'm not going this year. We didn't get tickets, but this Saturday I'll be at Break Room Brewing, which is a new brewery here in Chicago that just opened up. They're actually showcased, if not like so they kind of like, it's a brewery, but they also own like a bar making company, I guess. So they actually designed the bar at one of the newer Hopcats in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And they've got a show on Discovery Channel now called Epic Bar Builds. I guess the first episode, I haven't seen it yet, but the first episode is supposed to take place in the new brewery that I'm going to this Saturday, Break Room.
Well, also, just speaking of that, you made me think of a couple things. My buddy and I, that's why I took that phone call. We just planned out the air quotes Mr. Liquid Bread yearly tour, which AJ has partaked in one year. We didn't do anything last year. We're going to do Detroit this year, so we're going to hit Detroit in the middle of the week because that's the best time like we could make work. But long story short, we have also talked about going to Great American Beer Festival, which I don't know if we'll end up doing that. And if it happens again, beer camp in Chicago. So if we do that again, I'll give you guys a shout because we may go over to Half Acre again, and what's the Apple place across the street?
Bad Apple.
Bad Apple, something like that. Except we did that last year. So
Hold on, because I've got another option for you, but I don't know
Okay.
for how long, and it depends on how many tickets you need. Because our homebrew club has or tickets available for the Great Taste of the Midwest,
Mm.
and it's a combination of tickets and a bus trip from Grays Lake up to Madison and back again, because it's we're at the Lake County Beer Club here in town. It's one of those things where they're running out quick. I think that we are down to like our last 10 tickets.
When is it?
It is in August. It's like the first Saturday in August, I want to say.
Okay.
And it is absolutely worth going to. It's one of those fests that's held up as being like, if you're not going to Great American Beer Festival, this ain't a bad option to go with this number 2.
Okay.
So,
all right.
but if you're going to pull the trigger, pull it quick, because these things go quick. And I'm kind of at the point where the guy who's got the tickets is like, I got guys lined up, so let me know if I should give them to them.
Is there a website or anything that has info on it, or is it just kind of through your?
Well, by info, do you mean how to get the tickets, or when it is, and where it's at, and all that?
Like where it's at, what goes on. I can throw it up
yeah.
my buddy and.
Yeah, Great Taste of the Midwest. You can Google Great Taste of the Midwest. You should find it's the Madison Homebrew Club throws it every year. But basically, what the rule is that we invite breweries from within a 500-mile radius, and it's got to be the people who are brewing the beer that show up, and they've got to bring their A game, and that's what shows up at that festival every year.
Yeah, I've not been to that fest before, but I've heard it's probably one of the best. It's like the outdoor GABF here in the Midwest.
Yeah. Yep.
So
That's
it's
about right.
just homebrew though. It's not.
No. Don't. This is professional brewers.
Oh, okay.
No, this is thrown by the Homebrew Club as a fundraiser, or it started out that way, and it grew and grew and grew, and it is huge.
Yeah.
I see. I went to greattaste.org, and they've got just kind of a generic list. They don't talk about what's there yet. At least I can't find that. So, all right, I'll talk to them about this, and maybe we'll do that.
If you go to they should have a link to to the program, and they won't have the current program, but they'll have like the 2014 program and a PDF file. Go to that, check it out, get back to me.
Gotcha.
When do you need to know by? Because I may make the trip.
I need to know within the next couple of days, honestly, because now the guy who, make it within definitely next couple of 3 days. Touch base. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'll check it out tomorrow, and then check out dates and all that kind of stuff, and I'll let you know.
All right, cool.
All right, well, let's close up. If you guys want to chat a little bit more afterwards, I've got a little time. My wife's not home, so I got a little time. A little bit more. But anyone who's watching, I appreciate it. Thank you. If you like what you're watching, please subscribe to our channel. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Untapped, podcastcondition.com. We'll be back next week. Next Wednesday, I will be able to do a show. The following week, though, we're either not going to be able to do an episode because I'll be out of town, or maybe Dan, I might let you, throw the show or something like that without me being on. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that.
We'll figure it out.
But next week I won't. Or the week after next, I won't be able to make it. So, that's about it. So we'll be doing death labels or death beers next week. So that should be quite interesting. It could be any style we want, so that we'll have quite a range.
Oh wait, let me ask you a question. Does Ghostface Killer count?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm doing that next week.
Oh, he's gonna be like that one guy though and do 5 in a row.
I only have one bottle, so I can't. Otherwise, I would.
Damn it.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. We will see you after the show. Cheers.
Cheers.